Okay. And parry idea.
I thought that might be you. You haven't changed a bit, have you? The longer I am here, the more madness I discover. A wretched place indeed, but not without traces of its former glory. What could have caused such degradation? Ah, yes. I have not thanked you for humoring me the other day. This is for you. Of course, I have no idea what it is.
That's a bad idea. A bad sign.
Our land of Mirror is surrounded by enemies and constantly at war. There is only one way up in Mirror. Join the Order and prove yourself in battle. My family had little fortune and no name. I had to carve out a piece of the world for myself. With two things, my sword and my loyalty to my lord. I was raised to wield a sword from birth. Life was hard, but I never gave it a second thought. I had swift success on the battlefield and quickly attained respectable stature. And then I came here to... Have you heard of the undead? These poor souls affected by the curse. An undead gradually loses his humanity until his wits degrade completely. Finally, he turns hollow and preys upon others. And a hollow can never be human again. One can skirt this wicked fate only with the help of the souls found here. Assuming, of course, that the legends are true. I can only hope that they are. I'm sorry to burden you with talk of my fate. I suppose I've grown weary these days. I'm sorry. I suppose...
Wait, what I need that key for? Aha. Alright, that one. Okay, I wasn't expecting to go first like that. I don't think I'll really need that ring. How much is this? Ah, motherfucker. Oh, maybe I get to get away the key orcs. Nope. Can I go back there? No, that is the response from the game. Well, I know what that's like. You're coming. Oh, yeah, that was completely way too early roll. Interesting. Stream is still going, so that's good. Oh, that's not good. So close. Alright. So I know this is your first time seeing Dark Souls 2. It odd. Maybe is Steam down, or is that just a network aberration? Something I would like to check. Or at least I can access the forums. Oh yeah, also, how's the audio? Because I did some major rebalancing on it. I reduced the sound levels in Windows down to like 80%, and then I majorly jacked up my audio in OBS. I didn't fix it before, but hoping it can like talk quieter, but it's still audible levels. Oh, and also I fiddled with the compressor because that definitely helps. Yeah, so this is the fashion souls that I have into, or had. I'm trying to find something to move on with from this. Oh. Oh, shucks. Well, double shucks. There was one thing I did. Offline, so this is a pretty safe thing to do. I can't toggle it while it's on stream, but I hit the enable network optimizations tonight because I can't find for the life of me what the heck this actually does, but it doesn't seem to do anything too negative. The dynamically changed bitrate though has been on. Oh, fantastic! Do let me know if it's back. I have been keeping my voice a bit down, too. I guess my main two concerns is that we're crackle free and that I'm easily heard. Because watching the playbacks on YouTube, my whole audio setup is pretty soft. Anywho, I got this checked, and this is checked so we don't drop frames anymore, we just drop resolution. Which means it won't buffer on my end, at the very least. I don't know if that helps or hurts you though. Hopefully from what you're able to see, I can show you what I mean about Dark Souls 2's move sets. Oh, really? They're gonna do this? Okay, so... Yeah, right. No, wait, never mind. Okay, so I played Dark Souls 2 on PlayStation 3 for I don't know how long. Definitely hundreds of hours, but I don't know how long exactly, so I don't have my PS3 hooked up anymore. However, they upgraded to Scholar of the First Sin because of that troubled dev cycle I mentioned a while ago. Try and address as many of the problems as they could. And this version has new enemy placements, new items, there's some new story NPCs with actually voice acted lines. You know, the maps are the same, but everything else is different. So this is largely familiar to me, but not exactly what I played through. Weird like that. Alright, I can't hit a bonfire now, can I? Either I use a homeward bone or I go forwards. Right. I have to go forwards at some point. Oh boy. Okay. That's what I call a lot of guys. Good to go. Nice. Oh, really? Really? Well, one whose pathing bug is now dead. Now, as you can tell, 2 looks fundamentally different. 1 and 3. Kind of feels like it did this on a different engine. Like they just, for some reason, weren't allowed or decided not to do it on the old stuff. Really feel it. Yeah, door into nothing except not really. I can't even angle it up enough to see. That's a shortcut right there. It's a risky shortcut, because if you fail it, you die, but it is a shortcut. Alright, the things that this game does well and not well. There's some PvE stuff that doesn't quite do well. There's not most, but there are some standout examples of like instantaneous attacks and some wonky hitboxes. But down there's the door I just opened. How did you need to sprint forwards, roll forwards, or jump forwards? Forget how, but you can go down into that hole from there. I did mess up on that front a bit. I also definitely hit feedback feels worse than in other games. I think that because there's no blood splatters. Unless I had those turned off somehow. I don't think so. I normally don't turn off gore. Well, the hit feedback, if you don't get staggered, the hit feedback's not that great. Oh, and also, one thing I've been noticing going through these maps again is that if you just ignore the side paths and don't explore, they are very short. Like, you can get from the first bonfire to the boss within a couple minutes. I mean, that's like including all the enemies to fight through. Anyhow, I got some PvE stuff a bit wrong. Yeah, back then I just mentioned that there were differences. Since then, I'm more like the strengths and weaknesses of Dark Souls 2 as a whole. I want want to go back to a bonfire because there's like a explosive barrel that I want to reset. Oh well. Should I do well for this? I don't know if I can parry the boss. Ah. That's unfortunate. There we go. Yeah, so you can get this armor set in 3 of the DLC. And of course you can get it in 2. And you do become normal enemies later on. Still don't remember if you can parry them or not. Oh hey, Sophit, long time no see. Oh, that's where the second cab was. Where's that third? I know if you drop down you have to fight all 3 at once, but like... Oh, hello. Looks like if you can keep it here, one at a time. Helpful. Or 2. Oh, I might die from the fall damage. Yeah, I've got an offer for... got an interview in a week. So, I got that. That's made me feel better. Overall. That, and I started playing more games, which also has helped. Okay, that's good to know. Need to kill one of those guys really fast. Yeah, it's real nice. The first interview I'll have since starting all this. You know, this is the guy I have to kill really fast. Okay, got it. Although that's not all. I now have to angle this thing down properly. Should be good. And there we go. I do too. Anywho, that was important to do because you have to go fight a hidden boss in a hard area to get the key for this freaking door. But if you know about that barrel, then you can just blow up the wall. And now we have game's hidden blacksmith. Right, well, before you came, I was starting to go on about strengths and weaknesses of Dark Souls 2 compared to the other Souls games to Alyssa, because I know she hasn't played this. I was talking about on the PvE side, things are mostly fine, but there's a few instances of, say, like, or in general, there's poor hit feedback because there aren't the giant blood sprays of two. Sorry, of three. So if you don't stagger, all you have are their numbers to go off of to know that you actually hit, and the sound. The sound's alright, it's just visually it feels like you don't get hit. And there's like a few wonky attacks with either weird hitboxes or like no startup whatsoever. Like there's no, they just hit you and then you see the attack. And it's not like it's desynced, it's just the attack has no wind up to it, it's just instantly inactive frames. But there are few in this game, but one of the enemy types that has an instant startup attack is common in one area. It's not like always uses it, it's only sometimes he initiates with it, just like makes it even more of a pain in the ass, honestly.
Oh, why can't they all be this easy? We've got a wild one.
Strength-wise, though, they did a lot. In terms of the player character, they did just about everything better than the other games. Especially the fine little details.
Dear flame, how brightly you
Which I can't quite show while I'm talking to this guy. Also, you take some damage to show one of them.
Flame, I smell flame upon you. I'm Macduff the blacksmith. All I want is a little flame. So, hand that ember to me. Right now, you imbecile.
That's not nice, but you're the smith to give it to.
What a marvelous ember. You've got stones.
Gosh, so loud as fuck downstairs.
Me stones, and I'll fortify your gear. Flame, dear flame.
Anywho, he'll sit on this chest until you light the torch over there, and then when you reload area, he'll move to the actual anvil.
From the start of time, flame allowed man to flourish, and even now he devises new fire.
But one thing that I can't really show without damage is the fact that you start to slouch as you lose health. Once you start to get to about half health, from there until then it actually has a linear scaling. Every character getting increasingly bent over. Right, I have no souls on me. Because I died. Right. I just forgot about that with the explanation. He's got first katana. I'm doing a Dex Faith build, so katanas are in right now. Rapey air, yes. Oh, that's right, you can infuse. Raw, there's mundane, yeah, enchant. Ah, there's raw. I didn't quite remember if there was raw in this game. There is no refined or strength or dex scaling one. Like, by default, your weapons have good scaling. This is more so if you want to give it elemental stuff or whatever. Then there's raw infusion. Enchanted is... Right, it keeps pure physical damage, but but scaled instead of strength and dex. Then mundane. Mundane's both the best and worst. Really depends. So mundane's really good for my late game builds, but like most people, it's a shitty fusion. Mundane massively nerfs everything about your weapon, except it adds an unlisted hidden scaling with your lowest stat. Like, it actually, like, compares all your stats and finds the lowest one. That was fast. And scales with that. And it scales with that at, like, triple S rate. Like, Mundane is the strongest fucking infusion in the entire game if you've got, like, enough overall stats for it. Otherwise, it can be pretty crap. Oh, right. Crap, these guys from the same room. Right, so one of the little details. This one, honestly, you could do without. I don't think it adds too much, but notice a bit. Pay attention to, I think, the arms. Especially when I'm running. Notice the left elbow comes back a bit further than the right now. And if I swing with the right weapon, now the right arm comes back further than the left. And that gets reset by rolling. It's a neat little thing. Neat little quirk of the animation system. The other thing was... well, another thing. Not the other thing. The fact that, yep, when you're on a stamina, your character starts panting. Or, not audibly, but visibly. What else was there? Oh, right. Backstep has iframes. This is the only game where Backstep has iframes. Actual fucking iframes in it. Has like half the iframes of roll, and they don't start immediately. So it does take some skill to do it, but they do have iframes. What else was there? Alright, well, there's power stancing, but I'll get to that eventually. There is... a good old combo back on the PlayStation 3, dual longswords. The thing with this, I want to note, is that you remember on 1 and 3, if you wield something in your left hand, it just kind of sucks. Because you could, either you could do light attack and block, or block and parry. So it had to be right hand or nothing. Well... in 2... your left hand is now a mirror of your right hand for most weapons. Dude, I like these longswords. Like, especially this... aesthetically, I like these longswords the most out of all of them. Yeah, you see, moveset's actually mirrored. Which means... in 2, and only in 2, you can play as a lefty. Can't do that shit in 3. Because I'd be blocking with this longsword instead. I'm trying to smack shit with the shield. No soup ladle or nothing. Do I even have a soup ladle? Got the blacksmith's hammer, but I don't think I have the soup ladle. No, but the soup ladle's actually viable. Like, it's really low damage, but you can make it work. You know, there's like some exceptions to the lefty roll, which is, one of them is definitely the rapier. Or not. I'd do a heavy attack in the right hand. So parry both hands. Alright, never mind on the rapier, then definitely the scimitar then. Which does heavy attacks in the left and the right. But in the left hand, we have light attacks and a parry. Oh gosh, I don't know if any swords in this game actually attack with the pommel. Remember. I don't have to stash the power stance. Oh well. One of the... I don't know if I brought this up with Sobit in the lobby, but... since Alyssa's here, like, every stream, she's probably heard of this. The fact that Dark Souls 2 actually balances not just by stats, but by movesets too. So if it's longer, it might have worse swings. So, like, these are both curved swords, and in 3, if they're both curved swords, they have the same moveset, period. Here, they don't. They freaking don't. Scimitar and the falchion handle entirely differently, both starting curved swords. I still don't have enough strength to one-hand the bastard sword. Oh, and also because no weapon art to compare with everything. I don't remember, it was like... This attack can use a bit deceptively. I forget how, though. If you do it after certain attacks, you skip the quick spin at the start. And it's with using that I can deceive people in PvP. And the Flame Purge just handles entirely differently. I don't have enough stamina for a full 4-hit combo. Oh yeah, is your power back just a little bit? I know you got hit by a hurricane, but I just forgot. Just assume you're okay since you're still in contact daily. And not that dagger. Alright, so the starting weapons for the class I chose, swordsman, are these two. Start off dual wielding. And the thing that Dark Souls 2 does that I love is the blending of animations between attacks. Oh. Oh, okay. That's better. This is touching on like power stancing and why dual wielding is so good in this game, is that a number of attacks actually end at the point that other attacks start. The power attack of the short sword. And if we take a look at the... Notice where the short left hand is. One's attacking with the scimitar's lights. It's exactly where the short sword's heavies start. So I can mask the wind-up of the short sword heavy. That's what makes dual wielding... Part of what makes dual wielding so damn good in this game. You can find weapon combos like that, where they mask each other's attack animations. What other things could I show, for example? No, really, what other stuff could I show? Because I kind of don't remember much else. So I literally only used the long swords back in the day. Power chances, right? Yeah. Okay. So if you have, like... I know there's the whole trick weapons in 3 that allow you to, quote-unquote, dual wield. That was emulating the power stancing from this game. Because with this, if you wield any two weapons in your both hands, or most weapons. Not every weapon can be power stanced. Like, I don't think you could power stance a spear with a dagger. It has to be comparable sizes and function. But if you try to two-hand your left-hand weapon when you have, what was it, like 1.5 times the required stats or more, I think the long swords require a 10 and a 9, and I've got an 18 in both. You can power stance these, and that changes your left-hand moveset. So right hand stays unchanged. The left hand becomes dual-wield attacks. And the moveset depends on the weapons you have together. Like, for example, you have the rapier and longsword. So if I go with the dagger and rapier, get a thrusting set. You can try different combinations. You can also power stance, ultra great swords. I'm not joking, you can fucking dual wield ultra great swords if you have the strength for it. Anywho, what my favorite combo back then in the day was not that, but just to kind of show you, going back to what I said about the scimitar and the short sword, how you can mask attack animations with others. L1, you'll notice, starts at an awfully similar position where the R1 ends. So it's R1, L1. It was pretty good. That's not an actual combo. R1, R1 is. And if they're experienced in the game, not panic rolling, then they'll just sit there and wait for the second R1 if they get staggered. Which means they'll eat the L1. And the L1 does a shit ton more damage than an R1. Make them panic roll. And the R2 on the longsword is really good at roll catching. Just R1, L1, R2, R2, and delete their health bar. I don't have the stats to dual wield a whole lot, but I'll try to show what I can. I know I can... Ah, cool. No, I've got dagger power stancing. And power stance act, these two axes. Yeah, like as you can see, these two don't really fit together. So I end up just two-handing the axe. I can power stance spears together, but I do not have the stats for that. I have not tried power stancing whips, that's for sure. I don't think I've ever really used whips. Oh, I wish I had two majestic greatswords, though. So, one of the cool things they did, like really, really awesome things they did in this game with Artorias, was in one of the DLCs you can get his greatsword. And if you wield it in your right hand, it has a Claymore moveset. But if you wield it in your left hand, it has Artorias' moveset. And you can power stance it if you manage to get two of them. You'd have to go through the DLC across different playthroughs to get it, so you get one per playthrough. But if you have two of them and power stance them, you get some fantastical fucking ninja shit. Okay, now I have to know if I can actually find that. Gotta find a video of that. I don't know, this calls itself tutorial. I just want to get the move sets. I'm saying, like, right hand, you just get Claymore moveset. But you get Artorias' moveset if you wield in the left hand. That's the spectacular shit. The only fucking jumping attack heavy that you have in the entire game, and it's a 6-hit attack. I think you needed something like 60, 70, or 80 in stats just to power stance these two. So it's rare as fuck to actually see power stance majestic grade swords, but awe-inspiring. Because we haven't gotten to 3's whole animeify everything yet. We're still grounded in the movesets. So seeing that ninja flip stuff is it's one of a kind. So yeah, they did just dual wielding in this game is pretty amazing. Ah, right, I need humanity. Yeah, so there's like reason for me to power stance for just having strong attacks. I can also stick with not power stancing to have a really quick thrust and a parry. Oh, and then there was other stuff. That gives you a lot more stats in this game. This is mostly generic stuff, but they also tell you how much poise damage you deal, plus how much counter damage you do. This is if you hit an enemy while they're in an attack animation, or really anything that's not idle, then you deal that times your normal damage, so it'll deal 110% damage for the longsword, but the rapier is 140%, and the dagger is 150%. There is no listing, though, for, like, crit damage, which is unfortunate, but it still follows a similar trend, where daggers just deal a lot of crit damage, and are your go-to weapon for those. Durability is also a major concern, because this durability loss, that was just from fighting those, like, 10 or 12 enemies. And you'd have to clear maybe 3 whole zones in 3 in order to lose this much durability. I'm not going to need that, so instead... Why not? Control distance is tied to equip load percentage. Not the amount, but the percentage, so the higher the fit, the further I can roll. Also a second. Oh, right. I think I show with the... Yeah, so bleed actually scales now. 58 plus 42. Not just a flat amount, and poison, there is no toxic in this game, so poison's actually decent. Actually, it's pretty lethal. Like, you gotta treat your poison immediately, it basically replaces toxic. That doesn't tell you much. Yeah, so the core stats you can get, they replaced luck with adaptability, which is, I'd say, the one bad stat in the game. Not because it itself is bad, but like design-wise, it's a bad stat because you have to dump into it. It's because it's the adaptability and attunement affect this one stat that is the bad stat design-wise. Adaptability is the primary one for increasing it. And I'll just go right to it. It's agility. So increasing your agility increases the speed at which you can use items. But more importantly, it determines your iframes while rolling. It never gets anywhere near as bad as the Red Karthus, or as the Preface Bloodrang in 3, which gives you infinite 100% iframes all the time. Now, you go up to normal iframes, but like when you start the game, you have low agility, you have maybe one single frame of invulnerability while you're rolling. Which means dodging is kind of useless at the start. That's why it's a bad stat, because you have to like dump a lot of levels into it before you have enough agility to have like a normal dodge. It's hard capped at 120 though, which gives you, I think it was like 0.46 seconds, 5 frames. Other than that though, things are pretty spread out. Like adaptability also increases your resistances to status ailments, as well as gives you a small boost to poise. I think is nice. Other stuff, you actually see the direct stat bonuses for each of your things, so you can tell what your character's good at. Oh, and they got rid of the standard damage type, so there's only slash, stab, and crush for melee damage. Which means longsword deals slash now. Still is really strong though. No, I probably should. There we go. F music set to low, so you probably can't even hear it. I can barely hear it. Okay, at this point it's probably just dropped down. I think curious though if I can parry this guy. Not a bunch of attack though. Yeah, they become normal enemies later on. Never fight this many at once, or like ever again, but you fight like one or two at a time. Sorry, area. Probably stop wasting health though trying. Yeah, I should stop wasting health trying. Oh yeah, and even though while some of the PvE hitboxes are a bit wonky, like on some of the larger enemies, they didn't pare down hitboxes, but on the player model, it is pixel perfect. Netcode's a bit bad, so it's rare you'll see it, but you can literally dodge it by emoting. Like, my hitbox matches exactly what you see of my character, so it can go right under my armpit. Alright, so what he does is that. Oh yeah, also in Scholar the First Sin, they changed enemy type locations during the game plus. Which they again don't do in 3. Although Cinders does change it, so that does happen in 3. Alright, the equip burden frame. Oh hey, I'm back online. One thing that I know that like the PvP community hates, because then they can't have a meta level, but matchmaking is done by soul memory. So the more souls you get, regardless of what you spend them on, you know, the higher it changes your bracket instead of your soul level. So you can't just stop at one level and leave it. Although there is the one arena for a certain covenant that does matchmake by soul level, but the rest of the game is by soul memory. And I like it. I like it because that means I can keep grinding in PvP for as long as I want and still have PvP and people to help me. Like, as soon as you get with the whole soul meta, it's like you go beyond it and you see no one. It's like half an hour to find anybody if you're actively looking, but here it's just, you know, you play it at, have to play at peak hours at this point. Well, I see you stop by, Sophie. Maybe I'll see you again. On stream, that is. I'll see you in chat. I couldn't fully read your message, though. It's freaking Ruin Sentinel. That's not good. Okay, so I'm just gonna play this straight, dodging and attacking. No parries. Okay. Look, I'm by the katana now. Well, soon. Go find a bonfire. Yeah, illusory walls in this game, they go back to King's Field rules, which is A to activate instead of hitting them. Definitely will confuse your Souls veterans, that's for sure. There aren't that many illusory walls in the entirety of the game, but in this room is like maybe a quarter of them. Just this one room alone has like 3 or 5. Some on the second level too. Target shield? Ah, target shield. Maybe a better buckler. Seriously, how? I remember there being a lot, but I don't remember exactly how many. Yeah, this game also added ladder sprinting, which, I mean, 3 kept, but it's barely a noticeable difference, but 2, very significant speed difference. Told you, there's just a shit ton of freaking... Yeah, I'll try to get a count going. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 illusory walls so far. at 6 walls. I remember this. Yeah, one of the cells is populated with a suicide bomber. Only one, though. I feel like I missed an illusory wall, though. Oh, I don't have the shrug mode, at least I don't think I do. I don't. I really want it, though. Just the shrug mode is so applicable to so many situations. So many. Hold on, am I just seeing something in the texture, or is that also... Nope, I'm just seeing something in the texture. Alright, I'm gonna go hit up a blacksmith and see if I get in that katana. I would like to try this out. I think the Great Axe is like the only weapon in the game with an actual 3-hit combo. But I'm a dex build. Oh yeah, most shields do not have 100% mitigation. Just Royal Kite Shield's pretty rare in that regard. I do have some small shards. I only have 5 though, I need more. I want to use a flame purge too, because I don't dual wield all that often in actual PvE. Like power stancing, that is. Mostly I end up two-handing my longsword to get the damage output. These swings can miss pretty easily. But if someone moves to your right and move clockwise around you, they can dodge these swings without iframes. Oh, and also just to show you, you can break wooden chests. And if you break a wooden chest without opening it, then anything inside becomes rubbish. So, take care when you're doing your tried and true mimic test of smack it till it dies. Because there's other ways to tell, I'm saying, times on this. I'm just out of stamina. Right, so the kick gets replaced with this backhand slap. Which, I mean, it's slow, but instead of it dealing a lot of stamina damage to them, it instead, like, literally just... Actually, I think it does do a lot of stamina damage. It also tends to just almost guaranteed, which is why I think it does a lot of stamina damage as well, but definitely almost guaranteed to just put them into the break their guard, put them into a stun lock state where you can riposte them. And I mean, if they get hit by that slow a thing, they're really worth turtling. They deserve it. They really deserve it. I'm just not sure if I want the eye-hander or not. Yeah, because the katana can real easily hit low-lying targets. That's why I've never been super duper fond of it in this game. It can still be a good weapon, mind you, but like, you have to bear in mind the lowered accuracy because of how vertical the strikes are. Except for the heavies. The heavies don't... Well, they mostly don't have that problem. Because they're pretty horizontal, especially when two-handed. And yes, there are more katanas in the game, and they do have different movesets. And the washing pole has a completely different moveset that's more in line with a halberd or a glaive than it actually is with a katana. Just like the biggest example of case in point of they balance via movesets as well, instead of just stats. So your good old standard longsword and short sword actually remain useful. They have their own movesets. So I really don't know. Say for the PvX scene, Dark Souls 2 is hands down the best, as well as for the PvP scene. I'm not sure how active it is though in 2020. I mean, I really don't know, and I say that because they have newbie protection. Or, if you're an NG plus 0, you can only matchmake with people in NG plus 0. So until I beat this game with this character, I have no idea how populated the actual community is. All I know about novices. Like me. And there aren't too many of them outside of prime time. At prime time, you can find people pretty easily, but outside of prime time, it's rare. When I get to New Game Plus, though, I don't know, man. Ask an 8-ball. That, 124, that's fine. So one of the PvP techs that I don't really make use of, especially because I haven't been PvPing much so far, but being an NG plus 0, was the fact that you can delay your running attack after a back step and turn around with it. There There we go. It's like, once you start turning around after the back step, you have like, I think up until halfway through that animation where you do the quick turn, I think is the window. Which allows you to, you know, go backstep into someone and then get a running attack in their face. This is just to show you the fact that you can two-hand your fists. Means you can block with your hands. Your hands are one of those things that aren't perfectly mirrored, where left hand is a parry and right hand has a heavy attack. Although if you two-hand your left hand, now all of a sudden you get the mirrored of your right hand. Those are the guesses, though. There's a specific Kestis in the game that I actually love to use because of how badass it is, but it was, again, a DLC one. Same one from the Majestic Greatsword deal. Same one from the DLC that gives you the Majestic Greatsword, actually. Called the Bone Fist. And it just turns your unarmed attacks into some freaking karate attacks, which are... I mean, you get a flying kick, a flying roundhouse kick, for like one of your heavy attacks. And if you get two Bone Fists and like Power Stance, then you get a freaking Hadouken, like an actual energy ball you can shoot out of your palms. Yeah, never really used a whip before. But there's also a lot of spin to win in the halberds. The running attack and the heavy attack are both spin to win. Get used to seeing that. I mean, because it's a multi-hit attack, it's easy to parry if you're confident enough, but if not, it's like, they can be hard to work around. I'm gonna see if I can get the soup ladle, because I know where, I just forget what the flags are. Not just where, but even who. Again, I forget how do I trigger getting the soup ladle, though? That's what I don't remember. The old tutorial rite of passage. I hope I can see it. I can show you. Maybe on the way out. This is the tutorial area, which is, again, pretty optional. Because, as you can see right over there, that entrance is where you start. Or rather, not exactly where you start, but where you enter this, and all the offshoot branches give you different tutorials on different mechanics, so if you don't need them, you can just skip it entirely. Go straight.
old women assisted long but the old long but now.
Yeah, weird. Maybe they changed the because they actually changed how you got a bunch of items with Scholar of the First Sin. But I know in regular 2 you got the soup ladle from her if you talked to her enough. And I think maybe after you kill a certain boss too. Anywho, where you start proper though is way back here. Yeah, start here. Exactly. This is where you spawn in. You don't even go to character creation first. You actually spawn in here with full hollowing. So, you know, you look like a completely emaciated corpse. And you have the imported set equipped with no other items. Your face is pretty hidden. Your features, and you know, can't really tell who you are. And you can travel through here. Ignore these things. They keep their distance from you as long as you don't get too close. But like at the start of the game, with no weapons, there's like I think you might be able to see 3 of them, but there's I think 15 or so hidden in the grass. You're not going to survive if you actually try to engage. And there's here, and if you have a keen eye, you'll notice there's the bushes here. And again, you shouldn't do this at the very start because you're not equipped. It doesn't respawn. Anywho, there'd be an ogre here. And if you kill the ogre, you get this ring, which increases your poise damage by 30. So your straight sword hits as hard as a Zweihander in terms of poise damage. Real helpful for dual wielding, that's for sure. And once you actually go through character creation, you should have what you need to fight that stuff. But at the very start, you're barehanded. You go in here, you open the door, you talk to these old hags, and then they get you on your way to character creation. And that is how I chose Swordsman. And your first bonfires here. And things betwixt. You can go back to those old hags with a soul vessel to reset your character. So, there's that. Oh yeah, as I brought up in the Dark Souls 3 playthrough, you notice Alva's set actually has the, shoulder things yeah, the elbow guards that I told you I don't like the look of. But in 2, where it was first introduced, certain gauntlets, they go away. Which makes the Alva set a lot more palatable to me. Yeah, so, what? So yeah, right out of the tutorial, there's just a shit ton of bloodstains. There are no enemies. They're all just committing seppuku, just to scare you. It's a famous tradition. It's an old tradition. I do not have the vitality to carry that in my current loadout, so I'm just going back to the longsword. I guess there's one last landmark. Alright, also, in terms of progression-wise, you know, in the first game where you go through things a bit linear. Yeah. Well, 3 is pretty linear, unless you install Cinders. But 2 starts off non-linear, where you have, I think, 4 or 5 different routes you can take right at the start, and then they all converge into one final path. This is the total deaths worldwide, ever since the game launched. 415,092,530. At least on PC, I think it should be higher on console. I think it was in the billions back then. Like, there's more people have died in this game than there are people on the planet. If I remember correctly. And if you go into offline mode, then it can only pull the data on yourself, so you can actually get how many deaths you yourself have. This is one of the routes. You either need a lot of HP or the silver cat ring to survive the first plunge. It wasn't as much as Sig 3, but this has been a taste of Dark Souls 2. Given your bad internet, I'm not sure if 2 would be better for you, because I prefer 2 because of the online component and how better balanced the player's stuff is. On the PvE side, okay. Alright. Still having things though. There we go. Bro, can I even move this? Oh, there we go. I don't have too deep an opinion on this because I only started a couple days ago, but movement's good.
Hey friends, check this merch out!
Yeah, like lore-wise, as I said, 2 had trouble development, so the base game is kinda closer to a lucid dream than anything else you'd expect. Like, it has, like, within each area, there's, like, some definitely Dark Soulsian type stuff, but, like, as a whole, things don't quite fit together. DLC, though, really does its best to bring it together, as well as Scholar of the First Sin. So yeah, whatever you get first. And you don't have to play them quite in order. Okay. I don't know everything in this game. Like, as I started a couple of days ago, I still don't know everything in the UI. Everything, pretty much. Yeah, what the heck do I have to upgrade any mod to rank 2 or higher?
Operator? Ordis wonders, what are you thinking about?
Oh yeah, there's orders. So you get woken up from cryostasis in this. Like, apparently you're some warrior caste that fought in a war a long time ago. And when you weren't needed, you just all kind of turned to stone. And now you're needed again, so you're unpetrified. Anywho, if this is your old ship, and because you've been gone for like millennia, it's been like picked clean, so you have to find all the parts again. You get the basic functions back pretty quickly. However, your ship's onboard AI is not wholly functioning. So he's a quirky character now. Alright, that's not
Well
where
put together, operator. Now get out there and
Cut down the...
make the Lotus proud.
Case in point. Okay, this is overwhelming even for me. But it's just all the mods I've got, and I need to upgrade, right? Can I organize them by equipped? Alright, so I'm just curious if the ones that I have equipped actually appear there. Yeah. Yeah, it is showing. It's not really marked what I have equipped, but they aren't removed from here. That's neat. Oh yeah, I know already. I'm playing on a DualShock 4, so like my aim's gonna be crap, and my navigation's gonna be slow, but like the movement in this game is really freaking fast. If you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, it can be kind of bog standard third person, cover shooter slow, but what really gets me though is like all the item stuff in it, because this is also kind of a looter shooter, and there's just a lot. Oh, I got more slots on here. It's like apparently as you use more weapons, they get a rank up, which I don't know if that increases stats, but it does increase the amount of mods you can put on them, which of course can in turn help give you better stats. also get different, like, suits of armor. They just call warframes in this, as per the title. I only have this one. I don't even know how to get the others. Aside from the ones that you can buy. So, you know. Oh, that's gonna take up a lot. Yeah, I guess I'll stick it at rank 2. Alright, that makes that. Let's see if I can fit it back in. It's just straight damage increase is good. I think I'll upgrade it again. Yeah, that one can keep it. Also apparently access all of it from like here too. Market equipment, other things. But you can also navigate, like, the diegetic HUD inside the ship is pretty cool, I have to admit. So you have like 4 more slots, so I can max it out. I think I'll bring it up to 8 though. If I can.
This is a mobile defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into the network. Be prepared for heavy resistance. I can't do this without you.
As I said, movement's pretty fast if you know what you're doing.
I need access to a terminal. Find one and patch me in. Here is a terminal. Get me in and get ready to defend. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment. Still working on it. Continue to defend.
I like the movement. very least, I like the movement.
We are finished here. Move on. Surrounded by Grenier Marines. Terminal spotted. Upload me and prepare to defend. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment. Working on it. Continue to defend. Keep moving.
I mean, there is sprinting. This is pretty much it. A lot faster to just
Location
parkour
reached.
your way.
Drop me in and defend our position. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment. Still working on it. Continue to defend. The odds were against us, Tenno, but we did it. Mission complete.
Here you go, you shitter. Yeah, if I were a mouse, this bow would feel a lot better. I don't need to pick it up, do I? Eh. Until my wrist is better, assuming I still play this game, I'm just gonna switch off the bow. So I wasn't all that thrilled with the assault rifle, to be honest. The damage is rather low with it, after all. And you reload, and after playing Doom and Ultrakill, I hate reload mechanics. But I guess I just gotta deal, which is why I chose the bow, because you don't really reload with a bow. Oh well. Good, I have fast reloads, but I don't quite like them as a stealth weapon, though.
Operator, you have remembered well how the Tenno arm themselves.
So I got space for that. Oh, also one thing I found really cool, there's a lot of custom. With a little and a lot, like monetized it a bit weirdly. So I mean, color-wise, there's like not that many. You have to buy the colors. Yeah, I seem to have some premium currency up here, but I don't know how you can get more or if you can. You know, like, I mean, you get different warframes. I don't know when or how or whatever, but you get skins or you can buy them. But the cool thing that I was not expecting at all is the fact that I can, like, it's cheap to do that, so I haven't bought it, but you can customize how the sheath is on here. I can actually customize like how it's rotated and whatnot on my back, which is just, I was not expecting that degree of customization allowed here. So props to Warframe on that front.
I've been thinking, Operator. I thought you'd want to know.
That's probably my favorite line from him. Freaking just love this diegetic HUD. What do I need to do? Looks like I'm good.
This is a mobile defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into the network. Be prepared for heavy resistance. I can't do this without you.
Yeah, let's see. So far, it's like the movement of this game and the abilities you have are a plus, but like the overcomplicated loot part is a minus. So I guess if you like looter shooters and this fast movement, you should love this game, and it's free to play. Which, yeah.
I need access to a terminal. Find one and patch me in.
Although it is online, so I'm not sure if you can play it that well. No.
Location reached. Drop me in and defend our position.
Replaying that mission, alright. Feels like I am.
I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
Yeah, I mean, I played Borderlands in
Continue
the
to
past,
defend.
and I like that. But then I got burnt out on 2, so I'm not sure if it's for me. That said, I'm giving it a go, because apparently the raw gameplay is pretty good on this. Still feels a bit overcomplicated, though. Looking at all those freaking mods and shit.
We are finished here. Move on.
I'll say the HUD is really small, like it's... I think the chat's probably covering my energy bar, but it's like, wait, that small, like, white and kind of teal bar in the lower right, that's my energy bar, which I never really see in the actual feed of the action. And in the upper right is my shields and health, which I didn't actually realize until like maybe
Watch
5
yourself.
missions
Grenier
after it
are
kicked
on
in.
the way.
I can probably make the HUD larger, but like, as I said, it's a bit overwhelming how many options there are.
Spotted. Upload me and prepare to defend. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
Yeah, like Warframe has a really good rep, so again, I'm giving it a chance, but I would be wary of the grind.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
Although if you want to put the game in a positive
Keep
and
moving.
short but sweet, but also positive light, Space Ninja. It plays a Space Ninja. Yeah, I can't say I've hit the grind yet.
Here is a terminal. Get me in and get ready to defend.
Enemies really don't... I don't know if Sprint will alert them. Actually, it's a good time to check it. Doesn't really seem like it. They hear your gunshots, but they don't seem to hear your movement at all.
I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment. working on it. Continue to defend. The
Yeah,
odds
turn
were
me
against
off.
us, Tenno, but we did it. Mission complete.
What turned me off from the assault rifle is like the 2-second reload time. You and I have like a 0.8 second reload time. And this pistol is, I mean, it's tolerable. Yeah, this bug. I got that the menus are a little buggy with the pad. I mean, alright, this is gonna take a bit to explain. Or rather, by a bit, I just mean more than like a second or two. So this is, you can download the client right off of their site, but I got the Steam client, so it got the Steam default controls for DualShock 4, and they are god fucking awful. Like, right stick is mouse aim instead of actual joystick aim, which just can't fucking aim at all because you tilt the stick a little bit and you're moving at light speed. Fucking camera. Why, Steam? Why? Because of that, I have to use a preset, and the preset itself has said that it gets as close as it can to decent, but not perfectly there. So far it's been nice, but
Operator, were you visualizing a bloody battle?
Sure.
Me too.
Sure. Every now and again, though, the menus get a little buggy. Mostly it's just like scrolling when I'm not actually scrolling. Like, I think it did it a bit with the mods menu.
Is your mod collection in order? No, I am not equipped to feel envy.
You know, sometimes I'm just not inputting anything. Menu will drift off, but like this second time it's ever happened to me, where like I can't, just kind of backs out to here and it won't do anything. Where like I go into, say, Earth, and then it just immediately backs out as soon as I go into it, and I can't. Okay. Alright, let's read this. Take the junction path on the lowest below, gain access to a new planet. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, Mars Junction. Well, let's try interception then. Because I've really only played like the defense type missions because I don't know what the heck I'm doing and just doing what it tells me to so far.
radio towers carry top-secret interplanetary communications. You are going to capture the towers and decode incoming messages.
Sounds a bit like a variation on defense right now, though. Alright. Let's see on the minimap, though. The minimap is also really small. Oh, cool, I can... A little bit of cycling. Oh, yeah,
Tower captured.
because this is
Beginning stream
online,
decode now.
if there's like a bit of ping or packets loss spike, the movement can get a little frozen. It doesn't happen often for me, but I notice it. I slide around a bit. Also turned off public matchmaking, so you're not going to see other people here. Capture other points.
The enemy has all 4 towers. You must stop them. Tower online.
Alright.
You have captured a radio tower. The enemy have taken a tower. You must recapture it. This tower is ours now. Tower captured. Beginning stream decode now. Tower lost. Tower online. We have control of all 4 towers.
Alright, now just to kill everything and keep all towers on. Fine. It's hard to see it from my own angle, but my attacks have shockwaves to them. I was looking at another player and I noticed that, which is why we have a lot more melee range than it looks. Alright.
We have lost control of a tower. We are in total control. Keep fighting.
Okay, they have to get to the terminals, so I just have to get close. That's good to know.
Get clam.
We cannot allow the enemy to learn of our espionage. Eliminate the remaining enemy personnel. The enemy have deployed fierce reinforcements. Are you willing to stay and decode more messages? They are broadcasting another message. Make sure the enemy never receives it. You have captured a radio tower. This tower is ours now. Tower online. We are dominating. Keep it up. The enemy have captured a tower. We have control of all 4 towers.
What's one? Clam.
Tower lost. We have decoded the message. The remaining enemies must not report back to their command. Eliminate everyone. More data is being broadcasted. Are you willing to risk going back into the field? try and capture another signal. Be careful, though. The enemy has surely rallied stronger reinforcements.
It's enough for solo. Yeah, that's been Warframe so far, I guess. Good movement. Not sure how I feel about the rest. That'll be it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I have spaced out on my own outro. Not that I had a set one anyways. So yeah, I hope you have a better time tomorrow than you had today. However good or bad today was, I hope it's better for you tomorrow. Good night.